Now the king of Syria was making war against Israel, and he consulted with his servants, saying, "My camp will be in such and such a place." And the man of God sent to the king of Israel, saying, "Beware that you do not pass this place, for the Syrians are coming down there." Then the king of Israel sent someone to the place of which the man of God had told him. Thus he warned him, and he was watchful there, not just once or twice. Therefore the heart of the king of Syria was greatly troubled by this thing. And he called his servants and said to them, "Will you not show me which of us is for the king of Israel?" And one of his servants said, "None, my lord, O king, but Elisha the prophet, who is in Israel, tells the king of Israel the words that you speak in your bedroom." So he said, "Go and see where he is, that I may send and get him." And it was told him, saying, "Surely he is in Dothan." Therefore he sent horses and chariots and a great army there, and they came by night and surrounded the city. And when the servant of the man of God arose early and went out, there was an army surrounding the city with horses and chariots. And his servant said to him, "Alas, my master, what shall we do?" So he answered, "Do not fear, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them." And Elisha prayed and said, "Lord, I pray, open his eyes that he may see." Then the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. So when the Syrians came down to him, Elisha prayed to the Lord and said, "Strike this people, I pray, with blindness." And so God struck them with blindness, according to the word of Elisha. Now Elisha said to them, "This is not the way, nor is this the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom you seek." But he led them to Samaria. So it was, when they had come to Samaria, that Elisha said, "Lord, open the eyes of these men, that they may see." And so the Lord opened their eyes, and they saw, and there they were inside Samaria. Now when the king of Israel saw them, he said to Elisha, "My father, shall I kill them? Shall I kill them?" But he answered, "You shall not kill them. Would you kill those whom you have taken captive with your sword and your bow? Set food and water before them, that they may eat and drink and go to their master." Then he prepared a great feast for them, and after they ate and drank, he sent them away, and they went to their master. So the bands of Syrian raiders came no more into the land of Israel. Hi, it's Lindley Oz, and you just heard an excerpt from 2 Kings chapter 6, verses 8 through 23. So what is the significance of this passage other than biblical history for us today, and how can we apply it to our life? Do you have battles in your life that just seem overwhelming, like you just can't seem to get past them? Do you struggle with battles that are seemingly with other people? Well, really they're not. Ephesians 6:10 through 20 tells us that our battles are not against flesh and blood or other people, but against powers of hell, principalities, and powers of the air, and so on and so forth. So as we can see here in this passage, God had surrounded them with heavenly hosts of angels ready to go to battle for his people. And so Elijah declared blindness upon the enemy, and instead of destroying the enemy altogether as they could have, they took prisoners of them, and they fed them and treated them like kings and sent them back. What an awesome example of the love of God and his compassion and his grace displayed through Elijah as the king wanted to kill them. The king says twice, "Shall we kill them? Shall we kill them?" Elijah says no. And Elijah not only just feeds them, but he gives them a banquet-style feast made for a king. So that is an awesome example of how we are to treat our enemies. Notice that they didn't draw the sword against them. They didn't go mouthing off at them or saying mean things. They treated them like royalty. And I can only imagine that these people went back and basically astounded, telling their king, we couldn't believe it. They could have killed us, but they treated us like kings and gave us a banquet and fed us and set us free. These men who worship the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are just simply unbelievable. Elijah truly was a representative of God in this very situation. But let's go back again and revisit the whole subject of being surrounded by a heavenly host of warriors. When we go through battles and things that just seem tragic in our lives, or we're standing there and ahead in the distance, we see a mountain that is just too big for us to accomplish or climb or get past. And so we sigh and we hang our head low and shake our head in worry, doubt, anxiety, unbelief. But we see here that Elijah prayed for the eyes of the servant boy, the messenger boy, to be opened so that he could truly see that they were indeed surrounded by the angelic forces or heavenly hosts of God. This, my friends, should be an encouragement for you that no matter what you're facing or how big the battle seems, God has provided you with a heavenly host of angelic forces to go before you and fight your battles. Are you trying to fight the battles in your own strength? Are you trying to rely on yourself? Are you doubting God, questioning God, walking around saying, what shall I do? What shall I do? Please know that when you stand in faith and you claim victory and you claim God's promises that are recorded in His written word, and when you trust in the Lord with all of your heart and don't lean on your own self, do not lean on your own understanding, but just trust in the Lord. He will direct your paths. He will go before you. He will surround you, and He will protect you. Granted, we don't always understand everything that happens, and sometimes it truly seems like the enemy gets the best of us. That's when we have to step back and look at ourselves. Do we have unrepentant sin? Did we truly stand in faith? Did we pray enough? Were our prayers heartfelt prayers of great emotion? Or were they prayers that we rushed through that just came from our head and our mouth? Is there something we're doing that is displeasing God? Did we spend enough time in His Word? Did we pray effectively? James 5:16 tells us, confess your trespasses to one another and pray for one another that you may be healed. The effective, fervent prayer of a righteous man avails much. So many questions and things to consider. However, I can tell you this. There are many times when God truly does hear our prayers and is answering our prayers, but His ways are not our ways, and we just don't understand. That's why the Bible tells us we are to lean not on our own understanding, but trust in the Lord even when we don't see things going our way, even when the outcome is not necessarily what we wanted. That is true faith, as I always say. Faith is not getting what you want, but faith is trusting in God even when you do not get what you want. Remember that it is told to us in John chapter 20, verse 29, Jesus said unto him, Thomas, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those that have not seen and yet have believed. So when you have not seen, yet you trust in the Lord, or you have not gotten what you want, or necessarily seen the results that you were hoping for, you must still believe and trust in the Lord that He has your best interest at heart. I hope this short message has blessed you and has been an inspiration and a strength to you today. Please share it with other people so they too can be blessed.